Well, guys, it's Halloween season, and you know what that means. The Halloween traditions: trick or treating, checking your candy, wearing costumes. Yeah, I guess. Being safe on Halloween, I guess. Halloween's coming up here in 5 days. That's pretty damn exciting. Obviously, I'm not really a kid anymore, so I don't really partake in all the extreme Halloween traditions. Although I will dress up, I probably won't go trick or treating. I'll probably just go buy. Like literally, when you get a job, you can just go buy you a fucking bag of candy. Let's be honest here. But obviously for the Halloween tradition and anyways, I'd probably watch these movies anyway. We're watching scary movies. I just got on watching the Friday the 13th remake from I think actually 2007, same year as this movie came out. But yeah, Trick or Treat, cool movie, man. Cool anthology. Cool little like. It's a really dope idea. I think it came from a comic book, but it's such a cool concept for a movie, and the fact that they use perspective so much was so damn awesome. But let's get into it. Um, so the film is framed by Halloween night in the fictional town of Warren Valley, Ohio. Only in Ohio, right? You guys see the TikTok memes going around. This would only happen in Ohio. Am I right? The plot follows a non-linear narrative with characters crossing paths throughout the film. I usually don't have to say shit like this. We're not even like at the plot yet. I'm just giving you guys some quick disclaimers before we get into it all. It's non-linear. It doesn't follow any order. It just kind of bounces through the storyline. And I don't think I've hardly ever seen a movie like this, but I think it's really cool. Um, at the center of the story is Sam, a peculiar trick-or-treater in a burlap pajama costume who appears to enforce the the unwritten kind of rules of Halloween and the traditions, and if you violate, you will be crossing his path. And his look is so cool. I really like the character of Sam. So yeah, there's not much really to hate about this film. Let's get into the opening scene. So, in the opening scene, Emma and her Halloween loving husband Henry return home after a celebratory night of festivities. Obviously, this town loves Halloween. I mean, who doesn't? Emma, who hates Halloween, blows out their jack o' lanterns before midnight against Henry's superstitious advice. Like, why would you take them down? It's a Halloween rule. Keep them up all night. And she doesn't think much of it at first, but damn, she better. As Henry relaxes and falls asleep in the house, Emma begins tearing down the front lawn decorations without his knowing, but is then ambushed and murdered by an unseen assailant. We don't really know who does this at first, but given the horror icon in the film and going into this, I kind of was aware of this. We knew who kind of did it. Hours later, Henry discovers her mutilated corpse on display with the decorations. So he kind of like wakes up in the middle of the night, realizes his girlfriend isn't, or his wife isn't in bed with him, goes out, finds her dead. She committed a Halloween sin. Everyone pretty much does in this show. Let's get to the principal. It's such a cool movie. It's so intricate. In an hour and 40 minutes, they squeeze so much in here. There's so many point of views we'll talk about. Let's talk about the principal. So Charlie, an overweight child who vandalizes jack-o'-lanterns, is caught stealing candy from an unattended bowl left by his school principal, Stephen Wilkins. So Stephen Wilkins is one of the main characters that we're going to be focusing on. And the good thing about all these separate perspectives is a lot of characters get their airtime. I think that's really damn cool. Seemingly taking the offense in stride, Wilkins offers Charlie a candy bar while lecturing Charlie on the importance of respecting Halloween rules and traditions. So a lot of these people seem to kind of be working with Sam to enforce the traditions and being a catalyst to kind of like cooperating and following the Halloween rules, and Wilkins seems to be one of them. I'm so prideful about this film. I'm going to be talking about this forever. It's a good film. And it's part of me thinks I've seen this before, but I'm not sure. Charlie gradually feels more unwell until he begins to vomit chocolate and blood. Yep, as Charlie dies, Wilkins reveals that he laced the candy with cyanide. So, yeah, pretty much another Halloween rule. Always check your candy. You never know what could be in it. And obviously there's been controversies in the past that inspired this in the movie. and inspired this rule. So yeah, there you go, kind of a cultural reference. While clumsily attempting to hide the murder, he hands out candy to trick-or-treaters, including Sam. So obviously Sam's a friend of Wilkins. He overlooks him, like, kind of enforcing the rules of Halloween, and obviously he takes a liking to it. Sam is so cute, though. Before he attacks people, he's just, oh, man. Wilkins attempts to bury Charlie in his backyard along with the body of another victim, but is continually interrupted by his young son, Billy, his cantankerous elderly neighbor, Mr. Krieg, and Krieg's dog, Spite, so he can't really go along with his murderous plans because these people keep interrupting him. The other victim turns out to still be alive and struggles in a sack, forcing Wilkins to violently beat him to death with a shovel before anyone can discern the noise. Yeah, he ends up hiding the bodies. When Wilkins returns indoors, he briefly notices Krieg at the window, screaming for help before something seems to attack him. And, again, given that this film was pretty much centered around the character of Sam, we know who attacks him. Wilkins guides Billy downstairs to carve a jack-o'-lantern, hiding a knife behind his back. So there's some crazy twist here. We think he's going to kill his son, but my goodness, after some hesitation, Wilkins appears to stab Billy. Now, the shots in this movie are really well done, so you're not even sure what really happens at some points in the film. And then you look. However, Billy is unharmed, and it is revealed that the knife was plunged into Charlie's severed head. The jack-o'-lantern they are about to carve, so kind of a sick twist to that, him showing his son, Holy shit, there's so much. Guys, there's so much to talk about. We got to talk about the Halloween school bus massacre. That's like a big focal point in the story as well. So, a group of teenage trick-or-treaters, Macy, Chip, Schrader, and Sarah, are collecting jack-o'-lanterns when they meet Rhonda, a Halloween traditionalist dressed as a witch. So Rhonda, in this case, is another catalyst to enforcing the rules of Halloween and someone that Sam is going to take a liking to. It's really fucking awesome. It teaches the ideas of Halloween. I don't know. It's a really good Halloween movie to throw on. For sure. If you haven't watched this, do yourself a favor. The group, led by Macy, visits a flooded quarry where she tells the urban legend of the Halloween school bus massacre. No, this is not an urban legend. This actually happened because only in Ohio, right? In this legend, 8 disabled children were killed by a school bus driver on Halloween, but wait, no, they weren't actually killed by the school bus driver. The children's parents, wary of the burden of caring for them and resenting them for their disabilities out of embarrassment, that's kind of fucked up, wanted nothing more than to be rid of them, so they paid the bus driver to dispose of them and to get rid of them in a way that no one will ever find out about, because I guess no one cares about these disabled children. However, before the driver could complete his plan, one child escaped his shackles and took control of the bus. So it wasn't actually the bus driver that killed them. He just set it up for another student to kill everybody. Yeah. The boy wound up causing the bus to fall into the quarry, killing the children, though the driver survived. And oh man, we are going to get to the driver soon. Macy leaves 8 jack-o'-lanterns by the lake as a tribute to the deceased, so she's genuinely cares. Obviously we think Macy's a nice, smart girl at the beginning, but there's a twist. She turns into this very evil person, and it strikes her, and it bites her right in the butt, let's be honest. But the group splits up, leaving Rhonda and Chip behind, but this is all a part of an elaborate plan. Rhonda is pursued by horrifying figures, but once she is reduced to tears, the other teens claim responsibility, revealing that they disguise themselves as the dead children in an attempt to prank her, all planned out by Macy. I don't really know what the sin committed here was. I guess mocking death. I'm not really sure. Yeah, Macy just wanted to prank her, and I guess the prank went too far, and maybe that's what caused the wrath of Sam to appear upon them. Schrader realizes that the trick has gone too far and comforts the terrified Rhonda, while the bitter Macy kicks the jack-o'-lantern into the water. So Schrader genuinely cares about her, and it's kind of like a Mr. Steal Your Man's type of moment for Rhonda. No, I'm just kidding. Um, the dead children emerge from the lake, attacking Macy and Sarah, and now the boy cries wolf, and the actual children show up. Sarah is dragged away and killed while Rhonda escapes, abandoning the other three teens to their gruesome fate as revenge for their heartless prank on her. And obviously Sam is in full support of this. She gets her revenge. It's like the quiet girl getting revenge on her bullies and during Halloween. So yeah. As she leaves, Rhonda encounters Sam and exchanges a nod of respect towards him. He's like, yep, we both know what this is. We both respect Halloween. These fucking idiotic kids don't. But let's get to the surprise party. So Lori, a self-conscious 22-year-old, joins her sister Danielle and friends Maria and Janet for Halloween. So these two are about to embark on some Halloween festivities of their own, planning on going to a party. Another great twist in this. Holy fuck, guys! This movie's so intricate. I love it. There's so much to. Some movies are really straightforward, like the 70s and 80s slashers, but this movie does a great job at just not being straightforward and putting shit up to your interpretation and for you to come to realizations. I think it's a great movie. She winds up with a Little Red Riding Hood costume that, in her opinion, makes her look like she's 5 in comparison to her friends' revealing outfits. So yeah, dressing up slutty for Halloween. That's a classic Halloween tradition that these two partake in, or that this group partakes in. I think the Little Red Riding Hood's kind of a fire fit, though, if I'm being honest. A staunch traditionalist, Lori misses just trick-or-treating, which her sister and friends casually disregard. They're like, yeah, we're grown now. We're going to parties, bitch. The other girls pick up dates, but Lori declines in favor of staying to enjoy the town festival instead. She really likes what's going on in the town and their visitors. They're not actual residents of the town, but she's just marveling at how much this town likes Halloween. I would too. I mean, the child in me would too. She later encounters a hooded man dressed as a vampire who follows her into the woods and attacks her. We will find out who the fuck this hooded man is. He had a couple of victims in this show. We'll find out who he is. Trust me. This show doesn't leave any stones unturned at all. Doesn't leave anything up to the imagination. You kind of know. She defeats the assailant, and Lori's friends unmask the incapacitated man at a bonfire when she forcibly brings him along. So she finally kind of shows up to the party. He is Stephen Wilkins, the principal, revealed to be a serial killer who had sought out victims at the festival to kind of bring back. For no reason. I guess the motive is because these people don't appreciate Halloween completely. Lori's friends are then revealed to be werewolves, shedding their clothing and skin before feasting on their deceased dates. They weren't trying to have sex with these people. No. They were trying to eat them this entire time. And those that just... Oh, wait. I just came to a realization. So those who fall for the slutty outfits and the hot women, not knowing who they actually are... this film, it just continues to get better. So this group of girls is kind of like a catalyst for Sam as well in enforcing Halloween traditions of kind of stranger danger and not falling into temptations. That's a general life lesson, but especially on Halloween, when the public is at large and there's big groups of people. Lori, having decided to make an exception and join them for this occasion, is the last to transform and kills Wilkins before devouring him. So she's a virgin, right? She's seen as a virgin. This isn't because she hasn't had sex before. It's because she hasn't bit and killed anyone yet. Sitting on a log nearby, Sam witnesses the werewolf's feast. She's like, yep, never trust these women, right? And then Sam has his own story. This is going to be a long video, damn near half hour probably. Krieg Wilkins, curmudgeonly Halloween-hating neighbor, kind of like the bah humbug of the neighborhood, scares trick-or-treaters off his doorstep. And yeah, that's perfectly fine. What he did isn't wrong. But as the night proceeds, Krieg encounters escalating phenomena. The house is egged, the lawn is filled with ornate jack-o'-lanterns, and the hallways and ceilings are scrawled with Halloween and Samhain greetings. So the wrath of Halloween is put upon him. He's not a big fan of Halloween. We're gonna know why pretty soon, but yeah. Krieg is ambushed numerous times by Sam and eventually manages to unmask his assailant, whose head resembles a frightful hybrid of a skull and a jack-o'-lantern. So we kind of realize who Sam is and what he is. Krieg shoots Sam several times with a shotgun, and pumpkin innards spray from the wounds. So we just realize he's a gigantic pumpkin human, pretty much. Every part of his body is made of pumpkin. Sam proves difficult to kill, and after badly injuring Krieg, he eventually has the old man cornered. Instead of killing Krieg, Sam impales a candy bar in Krieg's leg, compelling the tradition of handing out candy on Halloween. So Sam is his own catalyst in this situation. He's trying to get Krieg to actually hand out the fucking candy like a normal person instead of scaring people off his lawn. Satisfied, Sam spares a confused Krieg and ominously departs, so Krieg kind of learns the lesson. Meanwhile, photographs burning in the fireplace reveal that Krieg is the driver from the school bus massacre. A lot of fucking crazy twist, but here's a conclusion. Just a point of view from all the characters at the end of the story. A heavily bandaged Krieg gives candy to trick-or-treaters. While on his front porch, he observes the street where he witnesses other characters in the film mill about observing Halloween traditions. This is a fucking awesome movie, I have to say it. Billy sits on his father's porch, handing out candy to trick-or-treaters and enjoying himself. So his father hasn't been back. I'm sure he assumes his dad's like on a long night in the town. Rhonda crosses the street casually pulling her wagon filled with jack-o'-lanterns along and is nearly run over by Lori and the girl's SUV as they drive by laughing to each other, obviously like just getting done killing a bunch of people that fell into the stranger trap. Emma and Henry arrive at home. Henry relaxes in his home while Emma blows out the jack-o'-lanterns as Sam moves in for the kill for breaking a Halloween tradition of taking down the decorations. We went over this in the opening scene. Krieg retreats into his home, but immediately hears a knock on his door. Thinking it's Sam, he opens the door, but these trick-or-treaters are these last trick-or-treaters are the children from the bus. They mockingly greet him before proceeding to brutally tear apart and devour Krieg as revenge for their murder. So he dies. I mean, he did a lot worse than breaking Halloween traditions. He listened to a bunch of parents to say to get rid of their children. Like, what are you doing, man? Well, let's get into the reception. It's a good-ass movie. I don't have a lot to say about the reception, but it's an 84% on Rotten Tomatoes, 31 reviewers, 7.4 out of 10. A deftly crafted tribute to Halloween legends, Trick or Treat hits all the genre marks with gusto and old-fashioned suspense. It's a 5 out of 5 on Dread Central. Trick or Treat ranks alongside John Carpenter's Halloween as traditional October viewing, and couldn't imagine a single horror fan that won't fall head over heels in love with this movie. I think it's absolutely fantastic if you love horror movies. 10 out of 10 on ShockTillYouDrop.com. It's a very well-crafted Halloween horror tribute, a scary blast. 8 out of 10 on IGN. Top 20 horror films of the 2000s was ranked 9th on Bloody Disgustings. So good that its lack of a theatrical release borders on the criminal. Like, yeah, I love this movie. I think there is possibly a new movie coming out soon, so that's something we definitely could see. We need it. We need it. My God, this is a classic. And I wasn't really, like... I might have watched this movie, and I'm definitely familiar with the Sam character. He's been talked about everywhere. Might as well make this a 20-minute video, guys. I'm so prideful about this film. I love it. It's one of my favorite movies I've seen. I mean, it's great. It's awesome. I really like it. It's such a Halloween movie. It is the most Halloween movie I've ever seen. It's even more Halloween than the Halloween movie itself. Like, it's great. Like, all the traditions that they bring in, all the rules that they bring in, they incorporate it so intricately into these detailed, well done, like, fictitious stories. And the writing is great. Everything that happens. I mean, whoever made the fucking storyboard for this movie and whoever decided to just break the realms of movies was just a genius. But that's all I really have to say. Watch this damn movie if you haven't. I don't know how I waited this long. The movie's been out for over 15 years. They're thinking about making a sequel, and I damn sure hope they do. I will definitely be seeing it once it comes into theaters, but I gotta go shower and watch some basketball, study, do all that type of stuff. But college is kind of stressful, but I'm just kind of getting through it with these videos. Hopefully you guys enjoy